Hi, I'm Michael Wargo, team pilot with Hobby King, and this is another edition of the 3 maneuvers series. We're going to do this with a pattern ship because all of these maneuvers are going to be associated with straight line flying and pattern. I think these are skills that every pilot should have, and if you practice these, you'll be better at everything you do within this hobby. So we're going to teach you some basic straight line skills and some of the skills that are going to be associated with most of the future maneuvers you're going to learn. Nothing difficult, there's not single rolling anything, it's just nice basic maneuvers, but these are definitely 3 maneuvers that you need to master, and they're not hard. All right, the first skill we're going to talk about is basically flying an upline and doing a roll or a half roll on the way up. The idea is to fly straight. And it's a lot more difficult than you think. Normally with a pattern plane, we're doing it at a little bit of a distance. This is a small one, so we'll do it a little closer. But the idea is to fly straight up and keep that upline. And again, straight down is a good idea to learn to do as well. But we're going to definitely be trying to keep the plane parallel to the runway. You can do it in front of you just to watch the lines. Straight up, -7 minutes. Half roll, and keep going straight up. This looks a lot easier than it is. We want vertical, truly vertical, because if you're being judged, that's what they're looking for. The one I want you to practice is a vertical line doing only a half roll. And then you push over the top like it's a Humpty Bump or something like that. Half roll. See, I did that a little fast. But we're going to do a nice smooth half roll up. Halfway up, we're going to roll, get to the top, push over the top, and that's the maneuver. Once again, it looks more difficult. It looks easy, but it's a little more difficult than it looks. But that straight line, that straight up line, I mean, it comes into play with a lot of maneuvers. I mean, you have maneuvers like a square loop, to where we want to go up, half roll, square it off at the top, another half roll, we're going to come straight down, half roll, and square it off at the bottom. So these are maneuvers that involve nothing but straight lines up and down. Now, if you want variations that are more advanced, we're going to go straight up and we're going to do a 2-point roll. Up, 1, 2. Up, 1 point, 2 points, over the top, straight down. You know, finally, if you want to, you know, you can start with like a full roll up. That was fast. You could do it slow. There's a lot of variations just to make your routine look good. If you're brave, you can do half of an 8-point roll or something going up. 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, it's in a maneuver that requires some practice. All right. All right, the second maneuver I'm going to show is going to be this maneuver is called an avalanche. This is a looping maneuver rather than a straight line. I'm not going to show you an actual avalanche because that has kind of a snap at the top. It's a little, it's a bit more difficult. But what we're going to do is we're going to go straight across the runway, of course, because everything is parallel or perpendicular. And at the top, we're going to do a roll and then continue the loop. In its simplest form, that's it. And that's really all I want you to do. The snap part, there's so many elements to doing a snap correctly. It's just not something that you need to really work on until you get a bit more advanced. But what we're looking at right here is to be able to maintain your loop, get the plane out of kilter a little bit with the roll as fast or slow as you want, and to come out and try and maintain the geometry. Up, over, roll, keep the geometry, and come back. You can make them nice and big, they look great.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
All I know is if you're flying, you know, you come down to show center, as soon as you pass yourself, you start that loop. At the top, we're going to make that little roll, nice and smooth and low, and then come right down and see if you can get close to the same altitude you started. Again, it looks really nice. I think it's a great maneuver, and again, it's an essential skill for starting to learn pattern. Remember, everything like half loops and Cuban 8, things like that, these are all looping maneuvers. So the other thing I want you to work on is going to be a downline, a straight downline with an exit that is inverted. So what we're going to do is we're going to try our straight up line. This time maybe I'll do a stall turn. Do that half roll like we initially did, but we're going to exit inverted. I would say it's an advanced skill, but I don't really think it's an advanced skill, although it might take a little more courage. The only thing is you don't have to come out as low as I did. Now this maneuver can be done, you know, like straight down the runway and things like that, because that looks good. But you don't have to do anything special with it. We're going to come down, we're going to roll it half, and now at the bottom we're just going to come out inverted. Again, coming out inverted and staying straight. I'm still parallel with the runway, that's the key. You can, inverted exits always look really nice.
30 seconds.
Sorry, the wind is just so bad. You can just pull over this way and you don't have to do the half roll and invert exit. And look how high I am now. That's much easier.
20 seconds.
Just like I always say, you know, start these things up high. If you don't want to do a half roll during this, you can just do a little Humpty bump like this, where you just pull over the top, come down, straight down line, and then we're going to push out. And you see I pushed out pretty high. One more time. Up, over. I'm going to push over the top, another half roll, and we're going to come out at the bottom. Again, the wind's pushing me around, so I didn't come out straight. Try it one more time, see if I can come out of it straight. We're going to go straight up. We're going to do a Humpty bump, straight down, and we're going to come out inverted. Now I'm going to give you a bit of an advanced maneuver. This is, I guess we'll call this one a bonus. We're going to do a half loop with a half roll. See how pretty that looks?
Minus 2 minutes.
The problem is that the maneuver itself is a little tricky. So what we're going to do is, as I get this thing started and I start my half loop, I'm going to start rolling and I'm going to use a little left rudder. Now I'm on knife edge right there, you can see. And as I keep going, I'm at the top. It's pretty tricky. It's also really pretty coming down on the downline too. See how pretty that looks? My suggestion is practice it on the upline. And again, it's an essential skill if you really want to get good, because this will eventually turn into some really nice maneuvers. Like one of my favorite maneuvers to really show my audience my prowess with the aircraft is like a single rolling loop. And this,
Minus 3
I like to start it inverted. As you can see, quarter, I'm at half. Over the top, I'm at 3/4, and at the bottom, I'm back to inverted. And I think the maneuver looks great. To complete that loop, it takes a lot more skill and a lot of practice. But I think doing this maneuver just on the upline, is not only fairly easy compared, but it's all happening on the vertical line, which means it'll never feel dangerous. You know, the back side of that loop that I was talking to you about on the downside of that rolling loop, I want you to watch the plane on its way down, and you can see how this could get pretty scary. So we're going to go over the top.
Minus 4 minutes.
I'm at the top. Now on the way down, this is kind of terrifying because we're on knife edge heading down to where you get there. So that particular maneuver is really difficult and takes a lot of courage to do that. Even if you're doing it up high, it's pretty freaky. Steve, my other cameraman, always used to say it gives him all kind of anxiety when I'm on that downline, even watching it. Anyway, that half loop, again, these are all teaching skills that will expound into some really nice maneuvers. And here's that little half loop again, starting right side up. Now, again, if you want, you can start inverted. Same basic principle. All I'm doing is I'm starting to apply the rudder like I'm going to go onto knife edge, and that turns the aircraft.
Minus 5 minutes.
And then towards the top, I'm going to have to use the aileron to get it the rest of the way around. But like I said, really nice maneuver. Give it a shot. I think you'd be surprised that you can keep it successful.